Our culture was outlawed by the government. We were not allowed to talk or speak our language or practice our traditional ways. We were told that it was the art of the devil. Our language was the art of the devil. That's what we were taught. And they did everything to do away with who we are.
My name is Tom Gray Elk Rail. I'm 66 years old. I've been doing the Albuquerque Gathering of Nations for 28 years. This is my 29th year. The definition of a powwow to me is a gathering of the people, for people to get together, learn stories, the ancient stories, learn new stories of how the people are coming together, how the people lived before, during, and hopefully for the rest of our time on this earth.
This right here is a wing fan. It's kind of like my second shield. It's kind of like a shield for yourself, again, like spiritually. When you're dancing and you sit here and you blow it on yourself while you're dancing and you feel like you're out of breath, when you sit here and you fan yourself off, it should almost feel like you're getting another breath of air to keep dancing. The mirror on here that you see, the quill work and everything, the mirror, when we wear mirrors on our hair ties or right here, we just have mirrors everywhere. It's right there is to keep bad medicine away. Like anybody that shoots anything at you, like spiritually, it's supposed to back it away. Just keep it all away. That mirror is supposed to keep it away.
I am Kiowa in Choctaw. The Kiowas took the United States to the Supreme Court. We took them to court for taking our land, all the way to Supreme Court. I'm also Choctaw. We had to go move on the Trail of Tears, moved our tribe to Oklahoma. Well, I feel like, being able to have a meeting place where all people can come, check out different kind of arts. There's like tribes from all over, all the way from Alaska, all the way down. I love seeing the different kinds of culture and how the different artists, manifest what's in their head out, and then, I hope that I can just bring a little smile to someone's face, mostly with mine. I just want people to feel good and be happy, have a good vibe, and maybe they might learn something a little bit on the side. I have a piece in here, I don't know, war paint, right? And really, I just try to rebrand war paint, and I did these murals in downtown Los Angeles. They're 8 feet tall, there's 3 of them in Indian Alley, and my idea was that anyone that used any sort of paint, whether it be ink, whether you're a photographer using inks, painting to further a social cause, that's your war paint. So you're a modern day warrior furthering social cause. So hopefully I do a little bit of that.
Because of the artwork that I do, I'm bringing back old traditions. I was one of the 10 chosen to bring the dream catcher out in 1988. I do them very traditional. I only web them at night. I web them backwards to turn back time in your spirit world. And then the feathers that I put on my dream catcher all come from live birds. And each bird has a reason for being on Mother Earth, just like we have a reason for being here. So I'm just trying to keep that tradition going.
My name is Daniel Gallegos. I'm 48 years old. My grandmother is from the San Juan Pueblo, and when she moved away, she moved to a ranch which is close by here where the powwow is. And that's where I grew up, actually here in Albuquerque. Whenever the grandparents and the parents don't pass something on, it can be lost. And in our culture, we really strive to keep our traditions. And without our traditions, we'll lose our heritage. And that's why we keep this going. And it's very important to teach our children.
My forearm here is my shield. That right here just represents that, like I just wear it from how back then, how ancient history used to be. And this is how big they used to be when we were riding in on horses back then. And any warrior would have it this kind of size, but this is what protected us right here. This was our shield. We didn't have the ancient Romans huge shield, you know what I mean? This was our warrior shield. So I love to wear it and I love to represent it. This roach right here, they call it a roach, and it's made out of porcupine hair. And then the front here, you see these little hairs right here that I pull off, that you can kind of see they're deer hair. This longer stuff here is that porcupine hair, and this roach right here back then was our own helmet, was our own protective, like our way of helmets. So this right here was our own like way of going into battle with our own helmets. Right here, and then your spreader on the back, you're supposed to usually have a scalp lock, which, you know, when you scalped your enemy, you threw it on the back, and to other Indians it kind of represented like you've been to battle. And you on the spreader sometimes I feel like you almost could paint a story if you really wanted to, or you could paint your own design, you know what I mean? And that's what I love about it. These are just regular like sea beads, I guess, like a 3-cut small ones. And then this right here that you see on my tie, these are the Swarovski crystals right here that go across, that makes that dragonfly.
When I moved back from LA, I was writing and I wanted some pop art. This has been about probably 5 years ago, and I Googled Native American pop art, and Bunky Echohawk came up, but there really wasn't a lot of stuff like, I like movies and stuff, so I decided to start making my own. And then, you know, I decided to start trying to do a little, I found it was a good way to teach a little bit of history a little bit. I got the Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Invaders, kind of speak to things, native issues, these things about American exceptionalism, stuff like that. And also fun stuff. I'm a consumer, although I'm native, I still like buying stuff. And I wanted to buy something that like spoke to me. So everything I make is just stuff that I wanted to see that I felt like wasn't out there. This is a deck that I did. It's ledger art. Ledger art, a lot of tribes did it, but the Kiowas, whichever tribe I am, we also do it too. And then in the late 1800s, they sent a lot of our Kiowa guys to Fort Marion to prison, and they started doing ledger on, well, this kind of work, which we used to put on like leather, like buffaloes and stuff like that. They started putting on ledger paper, this vintage ledger paper. And it would be like, you know, if you had a good hunt or something like that. So I just wanted to keep doing, this is called The Summer We Rode, which is like, that's this summer we rode the skateboard. So that's kind of what this is. But I wanted to kind of make it 3-dimensional, even though it's flat 2D. I wanted to include a woman as well, so that's kind of what that is. I think that the cultures, you know, there's been like a resurgence, I feel, you know, like a real strong resurgence in Native pride. And a lot of good cats doing some good things out there, man. You know, I'm just on the fringes, I'm inspired by other people, really, you know, so as long as people are feeling it, I'm gonna keep on doing it.
My name is Sam Tame Horse Gallegos. I'm Muscaleto Apache on my dad's side, Southern Cheyenne on my mom's side. My native name is Walks Gently. Basically, I'm 51 years old. I'm a teacher. I've been working with kids now for about 26 years. My warrior tribes, the Apache and the Cheyenne, our ancestry goes back to this land thousands upon thousands of years. So I carry on the tradition of being a men's northern tradition. No dancer. My grandpa Sam, that I'm named after, was actually a dancer back in the 40s.
I do a lot of the artifacts. I do the bow and arrows, the spears. A lot of my stuff is made for use and made for decoration, so it's multi-purpose. And I also do a lot of custom orders for the dancers. I'm passionate about all my work. Okay, but one of my nicest pieces here is our warrior lance. This is the warrior lance, and as you see here, you have your different feathers, and the beadwork is all the loom work. I use the rawhide to hold the, when you wet that, it gets real soft, and when it dries, it gets hard. So it holds this together.
When you're looking at the grand entry, that's when all the dancers come on into the dance floor. What I'm holding here, this is my eagle staff. This was given to me from one of my relatives a long time ago, and I made him into a staff. To us, the eagle is probably the most sacred animal that we have. Basically, if you look at the eagle feathers, we believe when we pray, the eagle feathers take our prayers up to the Creator, because the eagle flies the highest and the closest to the Creator. It's really important that I be here, not only to represent my family and my community, but to represent my tribes. It's important to us because what I'm doing right now, I'm actually starting a non-profit organization, Native American organization, where we're going to bring in kids from all different Native tribes, where they're going to learn from their tribal elders their tribal history from the beginning to now. So it's very important as a Native American male, thinking about those 7 generations, that I pass on my culture not only to my children, but to the children of my community.
I'm from the Dante Nation, northern part of Canada, and I've been dancing now for over 40 years, and I am 67. Dancing is healing, and we also dance for people that need healing, that need help. And there's times that people offer tobacco to me to dance for their family so they will heal. So it's a lot of these dances that you see, it's all part of the healing towards our people, for our people.
We have to remember the old stories. That's part of our future. being that it was part of our past, to maintain those stories and maintain those values are what will keep us going into the future. I pray that we have a future with some of the things that are going on in this world right now. We really have to understand that we're all one people. We bleed the same. We all live on the same mother, which is Mother Earth. We need to learn to respect it, honor it, and be part of it.